Hello, my friend, and welcome to the 377th episode of the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host, and I have a confession to make. I said today would be a book review, and I am not even close to done. Too much going on. I need to be reading more, I know, but hey, I will get there. So, I am pulling up an episode, advancing this one with Mr. Liam Austin. So you are in for a treat. We're going to get into discussing virtual summits, how to do these types of launches. In number 376, I had Michael Fossey on. He works at my sponsor, Rainmaker. So check out thesaleswhisperer.com/recruit if you want to hire great salespeople quickly. And go listen to that interview and you'll understand why they are so unique. The next episode, 378, will be Vince Bisi. Good dude, sales at scale. We get into training and coaching, the importance of self-awareness, why you need to be authentic, why to know your product, your content, why to tell stories, and more. All right, so you're in for a treat there. But as I mentioned, Rainmaker, those guys have been with me now for a couple of months. They're a sponsor for another month, but they have a unique model of helping you find top sales talent with the intent to move. And I thought that was fascinating in my interview with Michael. That little subtle point, I was a recruiter for about 6 months, way back in 2000, and I got recruited away didn't realize it was the bubble, the peak of the dot-com bubble. But I got recruited into high tech, and I actually made it quite a while, especially considering the chaos and my lack of experience when I got into it. But that intent, is somebody really looking to move, or are they looking to negotiate where they are to just get more pay? And I did that a couple of times, so I understand how that game is played. And these guys have figured out a way to dig in and see who's for real. So check them out if you're looking to hire top sales talent. And if you're a salesperson in San Francisco and New York, they're working on another city. He said it's in a cold area. So stay tuned, all right? If you are looking for talent, you want them to come to your city, let them know, and they can accelerate the launch in additional cities. As I mentioned today, Liam, I kind of beat him up a little bit, and he took it because I was still kind of wondering about these launches. Are they still viable? And, he made very good arguments as to why they are. So I'm actually looking at doing one with him coming up. I'll be promoting one of his launches, be part of that summit. So it's interesting. And like everything, not everything is for everyone, but the tips and the ideas you're going to learn from this interview is going to benefit you whether you do these or not. But he talks about how to build a big list, how to do it quickly. We get into very high opt-in rates that he's generated, so you are in for a treat. I've been working on a couple of things, redoing my website a little bit, not a big overhaul, but I'm always looking at little features, how to improve it, and I'm going to be changing the homepage, the messaging. I've got a couple of ideas, but I'm leaving as soon as I wrap up these couple of intros, heading up to San Francisco for my son's graduation. My oldest son's graduated from college. He's in the first graduating class of Minerva. Go check them out. It's really cool. But I've been making some tweaks, some changes, and what I realized is I need to be a product of my own product. I always tell people, you don't have a traffic problem, you have a conversion problem. So I've been looking at my most visited pages and blog posts and making subtle changes to the pages to increase opt-ins, and they've been working. So that's been interesting. So like I said, I worked on the top pages and the top posts, adding more video to each of those. I've got what I think are some good ideas for the homepage, but we'll see. Those will be happening the next week or so. I've also built out, finally, wesschaefer.com. That is my keynote speaker page. So if you are an organization or an association that is having a sales meeting and you need to punch your salespeople in the mouth with a whisper, of course, very gentle, loving punch in the mouth, check it out, westschaefer.com or hirethebestspeaker.com. Most people don't know how to spell Schaefer, or they put a T after West. I've met one person whose first name is West in my entire life, but I've gotten it my entire life. So hirethebestspeaker.com. It'll take you to westschaefer.com. And I'm going to be putting a lot more emphasis on that because I've actually hired a speaking coach. Because, hey, I am a product of my own product. I do what I say. I do what I recommend. And I pay a lot of money for top talent. So bring me into your event, light a fire under your people. And finally, if you're looking for an affordable way to plug into a group of motivated peers, salespeople, entrepreneurs, and you want my guidance along the way, check out 30daysalesgrowth.com. It's alive and well, adding more content every week. And when you enroll now, it's a one-time payment and you're in. By the end of the year, it'll be an annual payment. It'll be a subscription. So get in at the lowest price you'll ever get it now. All right. 30daysalesgrowth.com. Now let's bring on our guest. Liam Austin, all the way from Malta, owner, operator of Entrepreneurs HQ. Welcome to the Sales Podcast, man. How the heck are you?
Awesome, mate. Well, g'day, as we say back home in Australia.
So how do you get all the way over to Malta, man? It's not exactly around the corner from Australia.
No, it's a little way away, but my father's British, Scottish born, and so I've got a British passport, allows me into the EU. So thanks for accepting me, at least for the time being. And my partner's Swedish, so we're in Europe to be close to her family and friends. It's kind of my turn to be closer, to kind of give up family and being close to my friends, because that's what we've done for the first few years of our relationship. And now that we're at that stage now where it's kind of her turn.
Well, after 23 and a half years of marriage, I can tell you, mama usually wins. All right. That's how this redneck ended up in California now for 14 and a half years. But, Malta's kind of all right. I mean, it's still an island, so you should feel kind of at home, right?
Yeah, like the weather here is amazing. It does remind me quite a lot of Australia. And a little interesting fact that I've heard repeatedly since I've been here, the Maltese spot my Australian accent quite quickly, and there's more Maltese people living in Australia than there are living in Malta.
What's up with that? Everybody wants to be somewhere else, don't they?
We all do. I mean, yeah, look at me, look at you. We're all in, different places than where we started out. And, this whole remote living thing is, really taking hold of the world, remote workplaces and remote working. It's
right.
It's something that our audience is really interested in. And I know that, the freedom that it brings to a lot of people, it's quite attractive.
Yeah. Well, the Mediterranean is pretty chill as well, huh? I mean, I was a meteorologist in the Air Force. I mean, you don't have big jet streams and stuff. I mean, you don't get typhoons or hurricanes in the Mediterranean, right? I mean, I know you get some bad storms because it's warm water, but nothing crazy like that, right?
No, it's there are some wild weather, that's for sure, like in terms of storms.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like 300 plus days of sunshine all year round here in the Mediterranean. And it's Malta, for people who don't know, it's about a 40-minute flight to Tunisia, so the northern tip of Africa, and about a 40
Americans won't know that. Just tell them it's south of Sicily, and they still won't know that. That's south of Italy, and they kind of know that, and then, so.
Yeah, all of that. So just south of Italy, in between Europe and Africa, basically, a little dot in the ocean.
Yep, very cool. So what's Malta known for, man? Wine, cheeses. What's like the famous Malta food?
The famous Malta food, rabbit stew.
Really?
additional meal over here.
They have that many rabbits?
Well, I don't know if there's that many rabbits. I haven't seen too many of them, but it's
Because they're all being eaten.
yeah, I think they're growing just to be eaten these days. And they've got a nice pastry called pastéis, which is a small kind of like triangular pastry with either green peas or cheese inside. And yeah, they're quite a nice snack.
All right. Probably too warm for good wine, huh?
They do have some wines, but mostly it's imported. A lot of Australian wine because of that relationship, I think, with Australia.
So you're kind of an arrogant snob. Is that what you're saying? You think Australia's the best, huh?
Well, yeah, it's not too bad. It's pretty good, but Europe's pretty good too. America's pretty awesome as well.
So you and I connected last year. You were doing a virtual summit, right? And that's what your website is, the #1 marketing tactics of proven entrepreneurs. You've got a daily nugget that goes out. You've got a couple of summits. Looks like you had one just back in March. You've got another one coming up in September, right? And these are online, so virtual summits, correct?
Yeah, that's right. So we've taken like the offline conference and brought it online, naming it, Virtual Summit, where if you think of a traditional in-person offline conference where you have, say, 30 speakers at a 4 to 5 day conference or, a couple of day conference, multi-day conference, let's call it. And we have them take the stage, each in a allotted agenda, talking about one specific topic. And we've ran 15 of these conferences, online conferences, since 2015, all on the overall arching topic of generating leads and sales online. And each of the summits have been on one particular niche of that. So LinkedIn marketing, email marketing, funnels, marketing automation, video marketing, like what we're doing now. And so 15 different topics, all, the top players in those industries that are being successful at generating leads from these platforms or, niches, and we're bringing them online to teach everyone around the world how they generate leads online with their #1 tactic.
Okay. Because you and I, we kind of started chatting because I was asking, our summits played out. I was kind of pondering, like, should I do one, put some feelers out to talk with some people. And I mean, obviously you're having success with it. Some of the names, I know Perry Marshall. That guy's legit. He's been around forever with Google AdWords. And so a lot of prominent people that you're getting on board. So it seems, at least in your case, summits are not played out, huh?
Yeah, we're having some great success with it. We've had over 100,000 people join our email list just in the last 3 years. So that's a pretty cool stat for a business just starting out, remote business. There's Sarah and I, my partner, and a couple of VAs working with us in the Philippines. We've been able to grow that via virtual summits. And our first virtual summit, to give you an example, we had 15,000 people register to attend the event, which was free for 5 days. And we had 15,000 people learn from 35 different experts on how to generate leads from LinkedIn and how to generate sales and actually revenue from the platform. Because I think most people are members of LinkedIn, but don't necessarily know exactly how to use the platform to generate leads and sales. So we have those experts come in, teach their #1 tactic, 35 of them, and we managed to generate $50,000 in sales just from that one event, selling the recordings, essentially what we call an all access pass, which includes the recordings and a few different bonuses off the back of that. And since then, we've gone on to do another 14 of those events since then.
So you pick a topic, right? So the summit is I see here LinkedIn, email success, Instagram success. So you recruit a decent number, right? So it seems to be somewhere around 30 to 40. Is that kind of the sweet spot for number of experts?
Yeah, we've tested a few different things. I mean, doing quite a few of these now, anywhere between 20 to 40. But we do see, the sweet spot being between 30 to 40, just in terms of creating that wow factor, that buzz around a marketing event.
Right.
And creating it into an event, because there are a lot of webinars going online every day where there's just maybe one speaker and you have to sign up and give up your email address for just that one piece of information, that one webinar that might be ultimately selling you something. And so when you're giving away an email address and you're getting access to 30 of these training sessions where you're not being sold something from the speaker, it's quite enticing. And we see an opt-in rate from a visitor landing on our Summit website to actually entering their email address, so collecting the lead, from anywhere between 65 to 80%, which is pretty high. And we're pretty excited about that it works across any kind of topic or industry.
And how do you pick the topics?
We let our audience do that for us. So how did we get started? Well, I actually had a LinkedIn group that I owned, which was called the Small Business Network. So we had a lot of small business owners, and I just surveyed them and said, okay, well, what do you guys want? What do you guys need? And they, strangely enough, said, well, we want to learn how to use this LinkedIn group and use LinkedIn to network with each other and actually generate some money from this platform. So we pulled together the speakers, got them together, and when those speakers came to us, we actually asked the speakers, well, what's the number one thing that's working for you that's had the biggest impact on your business? What is that one thing? Walk us through step by steps. What is that process, so that all of our attendees can learn how you're generating leads and sales from the platform. So that's what we did for the first one. And since then, we've been surveying our audience to figure out, well, what is it that you need, that you want, that you need help with, that you'd like to learn from? What kind of experts do you want to learn from? And you mentioned some there. We've got, the people who may be founders of big online businesses, doing, the hundreds of millions in revenue, as well as the small consultant, coach, online trainer who has just had success in building their own online business and building that freedom up to, 6, even sometimes 7-figure businesses, and just talking about that, again, that one tactic that helps them to bring in the lead and actually maximize the revenue and profit from that lead.
Right. So you kind of test the waters, right? Get a vibe from the audience, what they're interested in. And then you go curate the list of experts, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
And then, but I'm seeing, we're recording this the end of April. Is your next summit not until September?
Yeah, so we have been testing and playing around with the summit model, seeing what works, what doesn't. We've done them as often as every 2 months, which was super stressful and it didn't actually provide the results that we would have expected, because we're looking at the numbers for each of them, the visitor, the opt-in rate, the conversion rate to sale. And now we're actually in the process of, let's look at taking a bigger period of time to prepare and seeing what that does to the end result. What kind of, do you need to be running a virtual summit every 3 months, which it takes about 90 days. So if anyone wants to start a virtual summit today, I would suggest that you take 90 days before you actually launch the summit. And within the few days of launch, it's obviously over. You've got this big email list. You've got this revenue come in. You've built your authority, and you've got this network of influencers that you've connected with. You've got a relationship with now. So really, for us, it's just about testing. We're testing. Well, how if we give ourselves more time to prepare for what kind of change will that have on the results? And the reason why we're doing these tests is that we've got a program we call Virtual Summit Academy, where we're actually teaching people to launch their own summit, their own virtual summit in their niche for their business.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm looking at your site and I'm seeing, I was under the impression that we could attend the live summit, like as it's going on, for free, but then buy access when it was done. But this is saying I can view your past summits at no charge.
So yeah, the interesting thing that we've learned over the years of doing this is that you've created an asset for yourself when you've created your summit. So our very first summit was the LinkedIn Success Summit, and it was run a couple of years ago. And since then, we've done email marketing, Instagram, video marketing. And if you take the email marketing example, all that information that's been shared there by the experts in that asset of the summit is kind of over once the event is over. So there's like say it's a month promotion before the start of the summit, and then the summit lasts for 5 days, and then it's over. There's no more leads coming in. There's no more revenue coming in unless you turn it evergreen. So we decided, well, let's test this out. Let's try turning some of our past summits evergreen so people can sign up for them at any point in the future. So we've done that with some of our summits, and we're in the process of doing that with all the rest of them, where yes, you can sign up for any of our summits that we've run in the past as if they're going live today or whenever the start date of the summit is in our evergreen model. So a lot of the ones that we've done are starting in 7 days time. And we've done that so we've got a little bit of a lead up until the launch, where we can motivate our attendee, educate them about what they're going to learn, prepare them to make the most of the event. So the great thing about this is you've spent 90 days preparing and then launching your summit, and then do you just let it disappear? Well, what we're saying to our students now is no. If you're able to pick a topic that's evergreen, so that the content doesn't become dated, then you can turn your summit evergreen and start bringing in leads into your business, every day, well into the future. So you've created this one asset, you spend a lot of time on it. It doesn't have to end there. It can be a lead magnet, generating leads and sales for your business, into the future for you consistently. And you can go out and, become a remote worker.
So, but how do you monetize that then? If you give it away free all the time, is it through affiliate links, like through your daily emails, things like that?
Yeah. So with the evergreen, we're still able to monetize that using technology and some software and tools. The one being Deadline Funnel, and Deadline Funnel allows someone to opt in once, and then it's tracked so that it's a unique starting point for every single person that visits that page and opts in to the summit. And once they've gone through the summit, then they're no longer able to get access to that event again. So it still works the same as if the summit, I've got this one chance to watch it, and then once it's finished, it's gone. Similar to as if it was going live. We've simulated the live version by turning evergreen using that software, which is pretty cool. So we're still able to sell, the all access pass at the end. And what we also do is with all of our past summits, we've had over 400 experts come and share their number one marketing tactic with us. You can actually access all of those inside our Entrepreneurs HQ Club and purchase membership to that, and be able to use that library to identify, the types of tactics that might be relevant to you at your stage of your business, and the types of customers that you might be targeting. So yes, we've got those summits. We're able to make money from those moving forward, which is great. But then once you've got the email list, You're able to upsell people to, your other programs, courses, services, as well as, promote others. I mean, you've got these 30 speakers you've invited onto your summit that you can do affiliate relationships with, promote their stuff, do reciprocal relationships where you might decide, okay, we had you on as a speaker. Why don't we do something else together? Why don't we do a giveaway where we give away some of our products and do a bit of a prize? Or maybe we put together a bundle and we go ahead and send out this bundle as a special offer to our audience. So there's kind of those affiliate and partnership relationships built there with, influencers in your niche. So it's really helpful, those relationships that you've built during the summit to use into the future. So the affiliate money that's coming in, selling other products and services is probably the one that's going to generate the most amount of revenue and profit for you, especially when you're selling the All Access Pass from anywhere between, say, $67 up to $200, and you want to be upselling people into high priced programs and services in the hundreds or the thousands of dollars, so you can move people up the ascension ladder of your business, depending on what they need. Maybe they don't want to just learn from 30 experts. They want to be handheld and be doing the implementation with someone, or in a course setting, or with a group of people doing online learning that way versus the passive learning. So there's a myriad of different options that you've got there, especially once you've got the email list.
Right. And you're teaching people now how to launch their own summits, right?
Yeah, well, we kind of pushed back on people asking us. Obviously, we've had 100,000 people that have gone through our summits, and we've been teaching through our programs, and they've seen the success that we've managed to build up from that, and the lifestyle that we've managed to lead, the revenue that's coming in through the business, and these relationships that we've got with influencers in online marketing and online entrepreneurs. So Liam, how do you do it? And we pushed back on that question for a while, just because we hadn't completely tested everything that we wanted to, but about the end of 2018, we had our first batch of students go through the Virtual Summit Academy program, and those summits are launching now, which is really cool to see. And we're turning this launch evergreen at some point as well. So people will be able to access Virtual Summit Academy and go through the training with a group of people to understand how to launch a summit within 90 days, build your revenue and profit, build your email list, and build your network of influencers, and build those connections there. So within that, there's a 6-week training plus 2 extra weeks of bonus training that we give away. And people get lifetime access to a forum of other people doing virtual summits who are, building, their email list in their niche. They're trying to launch a summit, or they're coming back after launching a summit and sharing their results with the community, saying what worked and what didn't, and actually preparing for their next summit as well, which we've found a really supportive community there. Sarah and I are in there every day, talking and learning, because we love doing virtual summits. We're pretty excited about obviously doing 15 of them in the last few years. How much we love them, and it's nice to actually see and help other people launch their own summits and see the kind of difference it's made in our lives reflected and happening to other people that we're helping.
Can any industry do this? I mean, do summits work in pretty much any niche? Yeah.
I haven't seen one where it hasn't worked yet. There's summits been run really successfully in, the business niche, obviously, really well. In the fitness niche, there's a lot out there. In the health and well-being, there's quite a lot. There's gardening, there's music, anywhere where there's a passion of people, a gathering of a group of people that want to learn more information about a subject or a topic, or just want to be, if there's a conference going on in the real world, an in-person conference, or some kind of networking event that's gathering people, that's teaching people something, then which is most topics, right? Then a virtual summit is going to be successful as well. It's just another option for people to look at, because for me, being in Australia, living in Malta, but also we're speaking with you in the US, there's people all around the world that don't necessarily get access to the experts that are maybe living in London or that are living in New York. They're not able to attend these in-person events without spending thousands of dollars in travel, hotels, flights, food, accommodation, and then the ticket price for the conference as well. So it's completely online. It means you can go attend it for free. And if you decide you want to learn more or take the next step and be part of a community, then yes, you can upgrade, purchase the All Access Pass, and even take the next steps with the host and the organizer of the event.
So what's the All Access Pass? I mean, when you run a summit, they're typically free, right?
That's right. So to give you an idea of the summit, there's 30 speakers. Let's put a number on it. 30 speakers across 5 days. That means there's 6 speakers per day. 9 a.m. is the first session, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Hopefully that was 6. And then that runs.
Close enough.
Okay? Close enough. So that runs across for the 5 days. But each session is not only available just for that one time slot from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Because, this is an event that's available around the world.
Sure.
People are on different time zones. So we actually say, all right, we're going to open this up and allow you to watch this 9 a.m. session, not for just the hour that it goes for, but for 24 hours. You can jump online at any time and participate and be part of this session, which is really cool. So that's the free aspect of it. And then once the 24 hours is over, it gets locked away. It's inside the membership, or it's inside the All Access Pass, and you have to pay for that.
Gotcha.
So what's inside the All Access Pass? You've watched all of day one and you've realized that was a lot of information. I want to rewatch some of the sessions. Okay, right. I'm going to purchase the All Access Pass to watch the videos in my own time, at my own pace, maybe rewind, stuff and pay a bit more close to attention to these experts that, maybe the consulting with them would be thousands of dollars, right? Or getting coaching from them in the tens of thousands. So it's a pretty cool proposition. But then we also say, okay, well, there's different ways of learning. Maybe you don't want to be just watching the video online. Maybe you want to listen just in your audio as you're doing the dishes, going for a workout, or just going for a walk. We also provide either a transcript as an option, and we've tested a few different things here. So I'll just rattle out the different things that could possibly be in an All Access Pass, but those two are pretty standard. Then you look at either a transcript of the audio or notes of the audio. An action guide with some notes, but also action steps, actionable things that people should be taking from the speaker's session. So what are the learnings and what actions should I go away and implement into my business, my life? Then you're looking at, okay, what kind of other extra bonuses can we do to really get this over the line for people? And it might be a live Q&A that happens after the event. It could be a series of Q&As with the host, or it could be a series of Q&As and webinars with the speakers, the influencers, to go a little bit deeper on their session. Because these sessions, could it be anywhere between, say, 20 minutes and an hour long? And we've got some recommendations for time, but that really depends, I think, on your niche and your audience and what you're trying to achieve. And then that's just one example. Say, these training that might go on afterwards. There might be some more personalized help. There might be a one-on-one consultation. Although, if you're selling hundreds of these, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the one-on-one unless you've got a team. And you want to really be selling a few hundred of these to be making some good money. And once you've sold, a few hundred of these, you want to be. There will be a proportion of people that want to take that next step with you and purchase your higher price program or go deeper at a deeper level on that training. So that's where you're going to really profit and not just make money from the All Access Pass, but from your other products. So,
and are you doing like a revenue share with the summit presenters?
Yeah, mate, you're all over this, aren't you? You've been through this a few times, I know. And so we look at ways to partner with our speakers. And you mentioned before about we'll have summits run their course. And I think, you want to look at not oversaturating a market or looking at what the options are in the market. And there might be some markets where there already are some virtual summits and maybe it doesn't make sense. And the same speakers are being invited back to these virtual summits, and they're, maybe you've been burnt by the way they've been organized or run, or the delivery on the promise wasn't fulfilled, which is a big no-no. Like you're doing the summit, yes, to make revenue, to build your email list, to build your own authority, but you're also wanting to build a partnership and a relationship with these influencers in your niche, because there's so many opportunities to partner and do cool stuff with them in the future, right? So you want to make sure that whatever you promise them, that you deliver on. And so what we look to do is see ways that we can partner with these people, not just to invite them on our summit, but they're going to get the exposure from the summit. And then is there other ways that they want to benefit from the summit? Is there a way that we can share revenue with them, as you suggested? So if they do end up sharing their session with their audience and saying, hey, I'm speaking on this event, this is what I'm going to be sharing, this is my time slot, come, learn what I'm teaching, and also get access, a free ticket to the conference with another 30 speakers. It's a pretty cool proposition for people to be giving value to their audience, as well as, again, positioning themselves as an expert to their audience again. So just positioning factor too. And if they're going to be making revenue off it, I mean, there's another win. And some of the times this isn't handled so well. And I think it's really important that you look after your speakers. So what other ways can, you work with them to benefit or maximize their involvement in the summit? And maybe they could be a sponsor, or their business could be a sponsor of the event, where they get, logos throughout the website, or even emails. Like we like a little goodie bag at the end from our partners, sponsors, speakers, where we send that email out to the attendees. And just like in a in-person conference, you've got a little goodie bag that you get to walk away with, but sometimes it's filled with pens and just rubbish, really, that you end up throwing away. With our goodie bag, virtual goodie bag, it's an email with just a list of different gifts given from the sponsors, the speakers of the event, where it might be a one-on-one consultation call, free strategy session. It could be a training course or a PDF download guide that gives more detailed information about their talk. And what that does, it provides leads to the speakers and sponsors then. So there's another way that, they can benefit from this. They're actually generating leads, hot prospects that they can upsell and bring into their own business too. So the important thing, I think, is with the summit, and the greatest thing about this, the summit idea, is that you are building relationships with powerful people in your niche, and you want to look after them and give them a good experience. Yeah.
Amen. All right, man. So we're linking to you. So it's entrepreneurs, plural, entrepreneurshq.com. People should go sign up, get on your list, get notified. My email's blowing up right now. Everybody's saying I should be on more of your summits. I mean, I'm just telling you what the world's telling me right now. Okay. So just know that.
Love it.
This looks fantastic. And it was great. It was last August, I think. I worked with you on one of the summits. So that was a good experience. And anybody in any industry should figure out an angle, at least experiment with this, right? So you've got this free masterclass you're doing, right? Is that an ongoing thing? Is that an on demand, or are you doing it live, or what?
Yeah, we're currently we're doing it live, but we're turning it evergreen, on demand. So by the time this goes live, people will be able to jump in and get access to it on demand, which allows you to then be taught, well, what are the three things that allow you to create a virtual summit and launch it within 90 days yourself,
right.
To build your email list, build your authority, build your connections with influencers, and obviously generate revenue as well. And we kind of go through how we've done that, what we've learned over 15 summits. It's about an hour long. And then, we look at seeing, well, if people do want to take that next step with us, we can go in even more depth with our 6-week, Virtual Summit Academy program.
Right. Very cool. All right, Liam, all the way from Malta, man. Thanks for sharing your words of wisdom.
No worries, mate. Really appreciate you jumping on and talking with us about virtual summits, because it's something that, we're pretty passionate about. And I don't get an opportunity to talk that often about it. So I think the people that are watching this, your audience, are going to be in for a bit of a treat, learning, hopefully for the first time, a bit of this. And those that do know about virtual summits, I hope you've learned something new. Yep,
it's been great. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Nice, champ. You too, Wes. Bye-bye.
Cheers. You need to be the sphere of influence, the center of influence. You need to be everywhere. That's why I create this podcast. It's audio. There are written notes. I'm sharing the video. I am doing keynote talks. I write books. I have membership sites, bringing back my printed newsletter. You've got to be everywhere, and you don't know exactly what's going to resonate until you try it and test it. So look into doing some type of summit like this, even if you think it won't work, even if you think, oh, my business is different, even if you're somebody local, you can be that sphere of influence that brings people together in the local community. Maybe you need to practice a little bit, do some interviews. Maybe you need to hire a coach to help you structure those first couple of ones. But being seen as that person of presence, of power, is going to help you grow your business. As long as you think and limit yourself to thinking that you are just a doer of what you do instead of a marketer of what you do, you will be limited. Okay? You need to stretch. Maybe do a summit. Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that. Go check out Liam's site. I've got all the notes on the website and on the blog post episode, and we link out to him as always. To all my guests, you can see the video as well. And as I mentioned before, check out 30daysalesgrowth.com. The price continues to go up, but it's still a one-time enrollment right now, and you'll have access to all the content versus a subscription when we're done. So added more content on referrals, on networking. In this past week, I'm constantly updating everything that's in there, adding content as well in the discussion board that is not seen anywhere else, and I'll answer your questions in the group. So whatever you're struggling with, launches, summits, writing a book, cold calling, negotiating, creating scopes of work, ask your question and I'll answer it. Okay? The best place to get my advice, super affordably. Now listen, I need you to do something. Please share this episode, and please leave me a 5-star review. If you look on the website, obviously if you're listening to this, you're already getting it. But I've got links to iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn now, we're on there, CastBox. I've been on iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify for quite a while as well. But if you like any of those other platforms, or if you see somebody, maybe you're checking this out on iTunes, you see somebody with an Android, or they're streaming some music on Spotify, say, hey, you checked out the Sales Whisperer. So sharing that is a big help. And you'll be surprised how few people do. What the heck? What the what? Let me know you're out there, okay? Send a comment. Hit me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm active on all of them. Cool? Thanks for listening. I'll go sell something.